Hello. Welcome everybody to the OmniCast, second installment. So glad to have you guys here today. I'm joined with Zech. Go ahead and tell us what you do in OmniSouls and what you do in general, Zech.
Hello, guys. Like my friend said, I'm Zech. I'm the co-host and main recruiter of this server. So if you have any questions or anything, I'm your guy to, find your
Yeah,
answers.
he's a lovable dork. That's what he is. He's amazing. He's a friend to all in OmniSouls. I am, like I said at the start, I'm OS Flame. I'm the leader of OmniSouls. I'm the sole host of OmniCast, and we are actually joined with a special guest today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Mege here. Hello, I'm Mege. I make YouTube videos about For Honor. I've been making them for more than 2 years now. I've been playing since the closed beta in September 2016. And yeah, that's what I do. I like making videos. I kind of branched off from For Honor to other games as well, but For Honor is still the main course of my channel.
Speaking of, what games did you actually branch off to?
Yeah, well, it's been quite a few throughout the 2 years. Let me think. I think I started with PUBG, playing on Battlegrounds. I also played some Rainbow Six. I really enjoy Rainbow Six with friends mostly. And lately, some games where I actually, branched off a little more deeply, let's say in a way, with more videos and more content, were Soul Calibur 6 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm into fighting games.
I can tell. I think Kenzo went to Smash Bros as well, isn't that right?
He did for a bit, I guess, but yeah, I mean, his For Honor video seems to be doing so well that I feel like he's sticking to them at the moment. I think he's playing. No, wait, he's actually playing the Jump Ultimate Stars or whatever the name of the one new game is.
Yeah. Actually, what does it feel going to Soul Calibur from For Honor? Do you feel any changes?
Well, actually, I've been playing for Soul Calibur and Smash Bros for such a long time, since I was a little kid. So, it did feel quite different. Yeah. The thing is, Soul Calibur, and it's funny because I've actually been editing a video about this sort of comparison today. Soul Calibur has had the time to polish his mechanics throughout the years, of course. So it feels more polished, more balanced, if you will, and I guess more fun in a way.
I get you on that. At least it's I mean, I was about to throw shade. I'm sorry. But are you considering to fully move away from For Honor?
I still enjoy For Honor, although these couple months I've been under some sort of burnout on the game, and I believe it's understandable. I've been playing the game for such a long time, of course. Don't think I've ever played one single game throughout 2 years and more. I would consider it. No, I don't think I would ever completely drop For Honor. At the same time, I would love, rather than Soul Calibur, to move more ahead with Super Smash Bros. Because I really enjoy the game and I have a competitive local scene I'm attending. So I really have a great time with the game. I love the game and I can't wait to, every Friday we play and I can't wait. I look forward to that all the time.
That's actually pretty interesting. Smash Ultimate. Who's your main, actually?
Oh, yeah, that's a big question.
It's a big question. It's pretty easy if you like. I have a very simple pattern. Big source. You can crack your phallic jokes or whatever. Big source though. I enjoy Ike in Super Smash Bros. I main Nightmare in Soul Calibur. If you know BlazBlue, I main Akumen there. So big source, long sword, great source, whatever.
That's actually pretty interesting because Zech's the same way.
Yeah.
Literally the same way. In Dark Souls, all he mains is heavy weapons. Isn't that right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, can you guess my weapon foo from the whole Souls series? I've been playing the same weapon throughout all 3 games.
Damn. Well,
it's an ultra great sword.
Wait, has it been in all 3 installments?
It's been in all 3 games.
All 3 games. Damn.
Yes.
Is it a specialized weapon or is it
edgy.
A basic?
It's edgy.
It's edgy?
Yeah. Edgy?
Bastard sword?
Sorry, what was that?
The bastard sword.
Nope.
Oh
The Bastard
man.
Sword, I don't think is considered a great sword even.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like
it's just a great sword or maybe a long
just a
sword.
great sword,
So wait, we're talking about ultra great swords.
Ultra great sword, the
ultra
biggest and
great
baddest of
swords.
the swords.
Man.
I can tell you. I
There's
don't
so
worry,
many
don't worry.
though. But 3 game. I'm not very big on Dark Souls 1, but
Well, I fell in love with it as soon as it dropped from the first Black Knight, so of course, it's a Black Knight
Oh, the Black Knight
Ultra
great
Great
sword.
Sword. Oh,
great
so good.
sword.
That-
Well, I would never figure it out. I never used it. I used like the normal sword, but the great sword I never used it personally.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
the normal sword was amazing too. Man, Black Knights are cool. But okay.
Actually, did you actually play Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls?
I did play with Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. I never played Demon Souls because I never owned a PS3. And
Ooh,
in the same fashion, I
sad.
never played Bloodborne, even though I'm itching so bad to play it because I don't have a
It's so
PS4.
edgy. It's so edgy.
yeah,
And that's the
dude,
thing,
like
right?
coming from a great sword user, you're not gonna like it. I didn't because you feel so, you know, the weapons are cool and all, but none of them feel devoid of a great sword, you know?
Relatable, I believe. Relatable. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, regardless, I love the Souls series, so the more the better. And sometimes I will pick the game back up in some way.
Man, it's never too late. Anyway, I was actually going to ask you this question because I asked Hatless this on the previous installment of OmniCast. What is your thoughts about, For Honor's branching out and leaving For Honor?
Leaving For Honor like as a channel. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
again, I don't think I would ever leave For Honor simply because I really love the game a lot. But I'm also burned out at the moment, so I can't quite get myself to push out as much content as I used to, like 2 3 days videos a week.
Yeah.
So I tend to play the game by small beats. Like for example, I will play the game for a couple days, Monday, Tuesday, record some videos, and then I won't play it for like the rest of the week or maybe even the week after that. So that's the thing. Moving out completely, I don't think so. I like the game, and beside that, the huge majority of my viewer base is For Honor, interested in For Honor based, let's say. And that's the thing. As much as I like to push out other videos like Smash Bros or Soul Calibur, people who actually give them a chance really like them, but it's a very small percentage of my subscribers. Most of them don't even give them a chance in the first place. So of course, from a let's say channel growth standpoint, it's obviously a risky move.
Do you get backlash because of said games that you're playing instead of For Honor?
I wouldn't say backlash. I'm lucky to have a quite positive and sympathetic, I would say, community in the comment section. I've seen some channels, some YouTubers have so much toxicity that it was really quite saddening, to be honest. So no, there is not really any backlash. Like maybe if there hasn't been any For Honor video in like 2 weeks, some people will go like, "Hey, For Honor next, maybe." But that's about it, really.
Actually, speaking of toxicity in general, what do you think about the toxicity and egotism situation in For Honor now compared to back then?
What do you mean with back then, though?
Well, at the start, were you here with the start? Yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, at the beginning, nobody really knew how to play the game, so everyone was learning. Everyone was much more open to different play style and stuff with the game. I mean, we were living with stuff like Unlock Tech and Shugoki Oni Charge and stuff like that, but there weren't nearly as many complaints about them as you see now for more mild stuff, for example. The thing is, like going forward, of course, people start feeling like they're experts about the game. You start feeling like you're always right, and if you lose, it's the game's fault. And that leads inevitably to arrogance and toxicity, as you said. What do I think of is it's of course you would say detestable, I guess. It's bad
Mhm.
for the game, it's bad for everyone. um, but it's also like, how do you deal with it? Like, people will be toxic regardless. Fighting games tend to attract this kind of people because they're very competitive And the thing
Yeah.
with For Honor, in my opinion, a big thing that not many people consider is that it is a fighting game, but at the same time, it drawn in a huge majority of non-fighting game players because of its visuals, because of um, the concept, knights, samurais, and Vikings. So it's the first experience for a lot of people with fighting games and direct confrontation, competitive confrontation with another player, and that leads to toxicity and the like.
I totally agree with that. Zach, what do you think?
It's completely understandable, and like he says, it depends on the person. It drags a lot of competitive people, and I've seen most of them like lose and not say like, okay, he bested me, or okay, I have to get better. They say like, oh, he was lag switching, or he was like, oh, it's just the game is broken, you know.
Yeah,
And
I see
I
that a
do.
lot too.
I've always considered it that no matter the game, if you lose, it's not because the game is unfair.
Mm-hmm.
It's more that you don't have you at the moment you weren't good enough for that moment. But who knows that in half an hour when you cool down, you destroy the boss or destroy that opponent completely.
Yeah, I can get that. It's For Honor is more of a like I would like to see it like this. It's more of a rock paper scissors game. In a lot of instances, if you really think about it, because it is just as mental as it is reactionary. If you think about it in depth, I like to study frame data with For Honor, and I like to I guess like pick apart players. Like when I'm watching players and everything, I like to pick apart their fighting style, how they think, and stuff like that. And I really think about the whole toxicity and egotism in a, I guess, really simple view. I look at it as no one really likes losing. Like what person in their mind likes losing? Because we all deal with loss in different ways. We either blame the opponent or blame ourselves, and there's no middle ground. But you'll get the mature ones that actually take that L and then give themselves fuel because of it, for a lack of a better term.
I get you. Yeah, I can get behind it. And sorry, it's actually funny because I literally recorded a video about this morning. That's coming out tomorrow. I was talking about this.
Oh my god! You heard it
so
here
I'm prepared.
first.
But the thing is, yeah, sorry, I just wanted to expand slightly on what Zach said, that people tend to blame the game and not themselves. And that's the thing with For Honor and fighting games in general. When you're one-on-one, when you lose, it's either the opponent or you, and usually it's you, of course. When there is team games involved, like the more popular League of Legends or Fortnite, you can always blame the team. You can always blame someone else. And so all of these big, for example, team-based, let's say, or used to team play game crowd, when they got drawn to For Honor, they just didn't know how to handle the loss with no one else to blame, So that's why a lot of the toxicity stems out, in my opinion.
Like basically everything on my mind you literally just said. So yeah, like I can't really expand anything upon that because you did a damn well job like explaining it. But everything that just Mege just said right there is completely true. It's just honestly, well, let's talk about because earlier the question that I was asking is what is your opinion on other For Honor YouTubers leaving the scene?
Okay, I will admit I haven't been following much of the other brothers, let's say. I know about
Brothers in
Spliced,
Arms.
of course. I know about
Oh
Spliced.
yeah.
Well, the game at the moment is sort of in a stale swamp in a way, if you understand what I mean. We're not really
I
going
totally
anywhere.
understand.
Discontent is rampant as ever. And I mean, it's not as bad as when the Volines were released, but it's still there. There's nothing overly interesting on the horizon. And like for one reason or another, sorry, one reason or another, different kind of players are all not really looking forward anything. So you have casual players with are not really looking forward the weekly ornaments, or I mean, I wish ornaments, maybe just outfits or whatever. And then you have people more invested into the game mechanics, like myself and many others, I believe, that I have been looking forward to some significant changes to the fighting system or balance or whatever. But as much as the devs have been showing that they are on the right track, they're just so damn slow.
Wishy-washy
And
too.
yeah, and it's like by this pace, I'm not sure when can we expect for the game to be more engaging and interesting on a fighting level or a gameplay level.
I think more game modes that were actually concrete and simple would be the solution to bringing in even more people, because we don't have a legit like hard point like game mode, like where kind of like in Call of Duty or whatnot, you would have a hard point on one specific area of the map, and you have to hold that down from the opposing team, and it switches every like 1 minute or so, and the person, like, it's kind of like a King of the Hill kind of thing, but it switches. And like the Capture the Flag tribute was just a mess. I don't think it should have been that broken apart. I understand what they were doing, and they were trying to be creative about it, but the more things that you add to something takes away from the charm of something greater.
I can get behind that. And just as a little side note, with my opinion on Tribute, I feel like the biggest issue with Tribute is that the maps just weren't designed with Tribute in mind. Like, they just slapped Tribute on existing maps.
Yeah,
they didn't do that siege and build new maps for them, though. They used old maps, and the old maps are kind of small.
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, I want to talk about some. Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
sorry.
I just wanted to expand on the game modes thing. Like myself, I never really liked Tribute much, but Breach, I feel like Breach is a step in the right direction, and it's a pretty different mode. It has its own maps and mechanics. I really wish they would let us control the lore like in Chivalry. If you've ever played the one, that's what I was thinking when they announced the mode. Yeah, but regardless, I feel like it was a step in the right direction, but it's too little, too late, maybe.
I think it's kind of really sad to say, because I don't want to get like too depressive with this whole thing with this topic, but it's kind of hard to like gauge. But I think For Honor is getting to the point where it's getting irrelevant with some of its content, and I know it's like really hard to say, but in some instances it just doesn't have that charm that it because you can only take so much of a bad thing before you start viewing it negatively.
I agree, and that's why I'm not forcing myself to play the game and burning myself out even more, than I already am. But sorry, I forgot to answer your question about the other YouTubers quitting, like for example Spliced. I feel like they can do what they do. More power to them. I'm actually impressed at because it is a big step. It is a very big step to have a channel built on something and that's just turn it around and go to something else. So I respect that immensely, and someday I might do that myself. We'll see.
Going deeper in the topic of the dead game, or I wouldn't say it's dead. It's more like stale. It's longer new. Everything they have added are like meh. And for example, I stopped playing for like from December to February. Like I didn't play at all, and I came back. And I said, well, I waited 2 months, so something new, something exciting about something. No, it's the same. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I fought the new character, and I was like, okay, but I didn't get, the wow, this update really changed. It was kind of like, oh, Shigoki's update, and I said like, wow, Shigoki is different, but it didn't do anything to me. It's like it's still stale.
I feel like in itself though, it's like a losing battle if you really think about it, because most of the veterans that have been playing For Honor, I talked to a lot of like the rep 200 pluses and rep 300 pluses, and sometimes I don't talk to the 500 pluses But I know most of my friends list comprise of 200 to 300 plus that has been playing this for a long time, and they tell me this. It's just like they feel like they're battling for nothing now, if that makes sense. Their motivation's gone, but they can't bring themselves to leave because, in a way, they think of For Honor in an abusive relationship. If you've been abused so hard, the abusee doesn't know anything else but this abuse.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. Like when you spend so much time on something, it's very hard in the long term to let go, even though it's hurting, and that makes sense. But for me personally, I wouldn't say it's the drought of content or the slowness of updates. I feel like the devs have listened in a way and are on the right track. The thing
Mm-hmm.
is, I feel like after so much time, the uh, the glaring issues with the game, the higher level you get, just on a gameplay level, just come out. The thing, like gameplay, is not engaging and interesting enough after a certain point where you are drawn back to it all the time. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could bust out my old Wii U and play Smash 4 right now. But For Honor, after a while, be it the small move list, be it the overall um repetitiveness. Oh, that's another word. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah.
of the gameplay overall, I feel like it can't sustain itself on the very long term unless some big changes are made. Like pick Shugoki for example. He got reworked. So what is a Shugoki player doing now? It's just charging heavies and canceling into Ags, and
Yeah.
or sometimes letting them go. Sometimes it's a light and headbutt. That's it. It's four moves, and like there's only so much you can play with four moves for a long time, right? Before you get bored of it.
Mm-hmm. And that
And we're
just
talking
brings
about
back.
sorry, we're talking about our worked hero here. So it's an
Yeah,
hero which is just being freshly reworked. Think of the old heroes which have like what couple moves that are maybe useful, and then the rest is underwhelming, let's say. But sorry, man, go
exactly.
ahead.
No. I was just going to say, like, I totally agree with that. Like, it's just really hard. Like for me as Warden, I'm pretty sure you felt this too, Mege. It just gets to a point where your kit is just, you just feel bored of it because you've done it millions of times. You've done shoulder bash millions of times. You've done crushing millions of times. You've done zones millions of times. You've parried millions of times, and it just gets stale.
It does indeed, and you do those things
And
so
that's
much
why, like,
time. Go ahead, sorry.
yeah, no. I was just going to say that's why it's hard for me to play my main anymore.
Yeah, I can totally get behind it. And the thing is, with this game, you you don't see any, how do you say, edge for improvement, any real room for improvement after a while. It gets like it only comes down mostly to predicting your opponent and reflexes for pairing and stuff like this. While for other games like as I mentioned earlier, Soul Calibur or Smash Bros, I always feel like I'm improving, I'm learning, so I'm eager to get back to it, get better, like wrecked my friends even harder, or face the guy that always beats me with Bowser and win. Like last week, like we had 3 monthly tournaments so far. I lost the
Yeah.
first 2, but I was still very involved and I wanted to get better, and I managed to win the last one like a week ago or something, and that's an accomplishment. But still, I feel like there's much more room for improvement, which I don't really find in For Honor.
Wait. So let me ask this. Let me ask this. Compare
Sure.
that situation that you just told, right, with you wanting to get better, and how do the losses feel to you when you lose
In For Honor or in Smash Brothers?
in Smash?
Oh, in Smash, losses are super interesting. Like I always try and gain something from losses. So what went wrong? What did I do wrong? If there is a VOD, like a recording of it, I usually always come back to it to check with a cool mind. Let's say, do you say cool mind in this case? I think so.
Yeah,
Clear mind,
collective
maybe,
mind, cool mind, yeah,
collective mind. Okay.
whichever.
So yeah, I mean, unironically, I really enjoy losing because I feel like you learn much more from losses than victories.
I 100%. If you could just take that quote and just stick it on a wall, like I've said this in videos, take every loss, guys, and don't treat it as a bad thing. Treat it as a way to improve yourself, because in life that is actually applicable to life too. You can,
Yeah, totally.
it's just such a universal lesson that people need to start, paying more attention to. And I feel like For Honor, people don't look at it that way, and it's sad. It's really sad. But like I was saying, Mege, I wanted to bring that situation with you losing in Smash. Now compare it to For Honor. What's your feelings there?
Well, For Honor, it comes to a point where the only improvement I feel like I could make is from a reflex standpoint. Like, okay, I need to be quicker to react to that light attack and parry it. Or maybe if it's unreactable, like 400 milliseconds late, I just need to get into the head of my opponent better. But as much as I enjoy the mind game aspect of For Honor, which is honestly the biggest part of the fighting game of For Honor, I feel like there's one big, and again, it's something I talk in tomorrow's video. I feel like it's a big, there is one big thing lacking, and that is some sort of option for movement. I feel like movement options add a huge additional layer to the simple throw attacks and block/avoid. Just think of Dark Souls, for example, as well. Even though it's not strictly a fighting game, and I kind of despise the PvP in Dark Souls, still, movement is a huge component of it.
Yeah.
And of course,
And
this
they
is even
improved
more
upon
prevalent
that,
in Smash or Soul Calibur. It's huge there.
And I mean, I hate to embarrass For Honor even further, but Dark Souls is like extremely old, and they got this right off the start. But how come a team of developers that are, highly gifted and such can't do something that a game did around like 5-10 years ago?
I think I have the answer to that. I think it's mostly because of two reasons. First, they're sticking to a mostly realistic setting. And that means you can't have the character move around too much. You can't have any super flashy rolls like Dark Souls. By the way, I hate the rolls in 3. and also the other thing is, this is the first time Ubisoft ever does a fighting game, I believe. So they were completely going into uncharted territory for their own experience, and of course that led to the whole Heart of Battle system, which is brilliant in my opinion. But it also at the same time is very clunky and restrictive as well.
Well,
let's
I think
go ahead, Zach.
I think that taking from Dark Souls, maybe if I know that For Honor is based more realistic, but if they took a little bit from Dark Souls, that that if you're running and do an attack, it's not the same, and it's no longer the right, left, up, down. It's more of a in between line. If you do this certain way, you get this attack. It adds more movements to your arsenal, and in a way, it makes every character more interesting. Because maybe
it's more like omnidirectional.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, that's fair. I think that's sort of wishful thinking in a way. Like, I don't think we will ever see the Art of Battle system like deeply reworked. It's there to stay in a way, but I think it could be ironed out much better. Like, one of the things that have been how do you say it, complaining about the most time, or disappointed in the most time, is how you, for example, as a static guard hero, you have to first switch guard and then throw the light attack. You know what I'm saying? You can't immediately go from top to right and throw the light attack right away. There is a guard switch delay time. And that is in place because of animations. For Honor is realistic looking. You can't really have skippy animations, jumpy animation like maybe Dark Souls has. But that also brings the game down, because light attack in neutral is if you're not an assassin or if you don't have soft feints, are kind of bad and easily blocked.
So I actually wanted to ask you something very interesting. How do you deal with egotism, Mege?
Egotism in others or myself?
Yourself. How do you handle that conflict in yourself?
I might need, if you just give me a second, to Google egotism, because I feel like it's egoism.
Oh,
Oh, egotism. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So maybe can you elaborate just slightly more on this one? What do you mean
Oh,
with
of course,
egotism in this case?
Egotism, in the sense of like, how do you handle it in carrying yourself, not only off screen of your videos, but in your life? Do you think really highly of yourself? Do you think really lowly of
Oh,
yourself? Do
okay,
you,
okay.
how do you view the world, Mege?
Okay. So I have a pretty high self-esteem on myself, not on arrogant levels, but I feel like I'm doing well with my own life and I like where I'm at. Of course, I also like where I am going. So I have a pretty optimistic attitude towards life, I would say. I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm in a very happy spot. This is where I want to be.
That's really nice to hear. How do you view, like, yourself in the, For Honor community when it comes to your ego and stuff like that?
Hmm. Let me think. Myself in the For Honor community. I feel like I'm one of those content creators, and I feel like there should be more of this my kind. Not to sound arrogant, but I'm
It's
always
okay.
having a, let's say, an upbeat attitude towards the game. I
Mhm.
don't complain all the time while playing the game. I don't blame everything else in the game. I don't claim stuff is incredibly broken or OP and should we rework it, or the devs don't understand the game at all. Stuff like that. I feel like I'm a positive influence on the game overall. Um,
Mhm.
Sometimes I don't blame the others. I mean, honestly, everyone can do what they want, and especially conflicting or toxicity opinions, let's say, tend to generate more clicks in a way. So that makes perfect sense because people seek validation, no? And so I don't blame them, but at the same time, it kind of makes me, well, you could say, sad or disheartened to see so many big YouTubers share some sort of, I don't want to throw shade,
Vendetta.
but when you could say kind of go for validation, even though I'm
Oh,
sure they know it's it's biased. It's totally biased.
well, Mege, you have to understand. You always have to look on the other end, the other spectrum. When you're so passionate about something and you just want to make it work, I can see them acting this way, but I
Oh,
also see your point too.
I totally understand that. Like passion definitely can lead to that kind of attitude, that kind of behavior. So yeah, I can agree on that. I can agree on that. And again, I'm not blaming them. It's just something that when you see videos like um well, sort of clickbaits, like the devs don't
Uh,
care about the game, question marks, or For Honor is ruined, and I don't know, Devil Leads are totally OP, or Shaolin will destroy you completely because he's broken, or stuff like that. I can't help but cringe a bit in a way. But I mean, otherwise, being critical of the game, it's totally fine in my book. I myself, as you have probably witnessed this evening, can be quite critical of the game.
Actually, Mege, let's branch away. Let's scoot away from For Honor just for 1 sec. Let's get to
Sure.
know you, because I'm pretty sure you. I'm not sure if do you talk about yourself, and your life outside of your YouTube.
I have no problems about doing that. I don't do that too often on videos. But I mean, if someone asks, for example, sure, I'm open.
Let's dive into it, because let's have people get to know you, the real you. Um, so what do you do? Like, like outside of gaming and outside of For Honor, Soul Calibur, and Smash?
Hmm. Well, of course, I mean, gaming still is a part of my life outside of YouTube. So, for example, Saturday night, bring the guys over, play some Mario Kart. But beside that, I'm still a big nerd overall. So I enjoy. I haven't in a while, but I enjoy playing the piano. I'm sort of in a let's wait a bit phase for that. I don't know why. I'm sort of stuck. I'm in that time where I come back to it and I try playing my go-to pieces that I really enjoy, and then I realize I forget some parts, I get frustrated and just stop. So
Oh,
eventually I get back to it and put more effort into it. But yeah, I really love that. It's great to vent off. Let's say it's great for myself. It's really soothing. Beside that,
exactly.
I don't know. I enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. Is that very nerdy?
No,
It
no,
is
wait,
kind of.
like,
No, dude, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
yeah,
I love it. I've gotten into it recently, though, like it's just a few months, but I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. And what else? I enjoy, of course, spending time with people. I don't. I like traveling quite a bit. I don't travel too much. Like I tend to be a home guy in a way.
yeah.
And also gym, of course, because gym is great for your health, especially when you're sitting in front of your computer and making videos for most of the day. So it's a great
Oh,
excuse to get some movement there, and that and my dog as well, walking the dog.
so so two questions. It's a back-to-back
Sure.
question. Who is your role model in, it can be anything. Who is your role model in the For Honor community, YouTube in general, gaming in general, outside of gaming, anything? Who is your role model? And two thing, uh, how do you go about going to events with For Honor? I know I'm going back to it, but I would like to know.
Okay, so can you repeat the second one? Sorry, going
So,
with
how do you go about to? Have you ever been invited to a For Honor event, like
okay,
like a
okay, okay,
Ubisoft event?
gotcha. Okay, so first question, my role model. Well, that's very hard to say actually, because I don't really have a defined role model. But since we just talked about D&D recently, someone who I've been following this past, well, pretty much couple months, because as I said, it's something I gotten into recently. I really admire. Do you know Matt Mercer? He's
No,
I
the.
personally don't,
no.
but I think Zech might.
Do you know? Do you think?
I play it. I don't watch it though. But
Okay. Well, I mean,
I'm
Mercer
sorry, I
is
don't know.
the voice actor for McCree from Overwatch, for example. But beside that, he does many more things, and among those, he's the dungeon master for Critical Role, which is a big thing.
Hey,
It's pretty interesting. But the thing about him that I really like is how passionate he seems to be about what he does, and how successful he is in what he does at the same time. So that's what I would like to be. That's where I would like to be. And your second question,
nice.
events. Um, okay, so this is kind of I don't want to throw shades at Ubisoft. It's kind of funny though. Um, I remember back when they were first starting to get those private tests out. I can't tell too much, of course, because
Yeah.
NDA and all that. But there's been closed tests that everyone knows about that. And the first time they were handing those out, I wasn't included at all, and it was kind of disheartening to me because at the time I felt like I was one of the big names in the YouTuber in the For Honor YouTube community. Like Kenza wasn't
Mhm.
too popular back then. It was pretty much me, Spliced, and I guess Havoc.
Yeah.
And me not being included was kind of a hit to me because I'm like, well, that kind of sucks, especially when you were seeing people with, I don't want to sound like the envy guy or whatever, but I
No,
had
you're
like I don't know
fine.
50K subscribers, and then you see people with what like 1K getting, and I'm like, okay, I guess. So eventually, I decided to take action and take that into my hand and write to Pope himself, and I'm like, hey Pope, I mean I'm this kind of guy. I'm very passionate about the game, so could I maybe get some sort of pass about it? And so eventually, yeah, after that he passed my contact, let's say, to I know who, I can't really say. And from that I started to get into close tests. At the same time, like I'm very grateful for this, but it's never really gotten in any way past that. Like some other people have been, like for example, Avok was invited to the what's the name of the big event in Germany, I think, or
Uh,
other people were invited in the States. I mean, it's not important the name now,
yeah.
but yeah, no, I never got any real invitation any real recognition. I don't think I was ever in the Warriors Den at all, actually, ever featured.
That's sad.
Yeah,
you should be.
that's-
I mean, I
Yeah,
told
you
my
should be. You're a
friends-
nice guy.
I always address this. Sorry, I always think this was because I'm not a native English speaker, so I always assumed it was because like most of the other guys were from the States or England. But then again, I think Avok is German, so I don't know. I just don't know.
That's really strange, actually. Now that you bring it up, and bringing up Eric Pope too. Didn't he leave for honor, like the staff?
He did recently, and after Damien, which makes me quite sad because I really love them. Like I really feel like a great couple with great chemistry on the show on the Warriors Den. So it is a shame, but I can also understand that. Like I mean, after 2 years of working on a project, you take the chance maybe to move to something else. It's refreshing. It's a challenge, but at the same time very enriching. Is that a word in English?
Yeah, that is.
Great. So yeah.
So
enriching.
here, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, I'm
So
back.
here's a really interesting thing. So what's your most awkward bathroom story you've had yet?
My most awkward
Yeah, most awkward bathroom story you've had yet.
bathroom. Sorry.
Yeah, like public restroom, anything.
Oh.
Because there's always one moment.
Okay. I gotta think about this. My most awkward bathroom story. Zach, can you start telling your own so I can think about mine? I can start remembering. Let me think.
Okay, I'll start with mine. Mine was in 6th grade. I was kind of a bad boy in my school because I took 2 classes at the same time.
Ooh.
I took science and what's the name of physical studies? Gym.
How does that work? Wait, hold up.
Hardcore.
Wait, how does that work? Are you like benching books while you're doing this?
No.
I don't understand how that works though. If you're in physical education and you're doing science too, how does that work?
Okay. Oh, how does it work? Okay. Well, technically I was in gym class.
Mhm.
And the teacher always had us like write the story of basketball, the story of baseball, and all that, worthless stuff. And after that, he said like, okay, go play in like the yard with like the basketball court and everything.
Oh,
And before leaving the classroom, I threw the science notebook out the window every day. I went all the way around the little house where we took gym, took the notebook, left, went to the science class, took it, and I always left early. And you ask, where does the bathroom go there? Well,
yeah. I was about to ask.
One of the days I finished science, I was going down because I always had to go get my book bag. And I see the gym teacher walking by. I go to the bathroom. I go in completely, go to the stall, I sit, and to my luck, he was going to the bathroom.
Oh no.
Okay.
He was in the stall besides me.
Oh no.
They got this.
Okay.
The stalls, the doors weren't complete on the bottom, but the walls were like fully to the floor.
Okay.
And he just sits there and says like, "Oh God," and starts like having the most disgusting. It was like a thunderstorm in that bathroom, and I was just like sitting, waiting for him to leave from the toilet, being like, "Oh my God, what the fuck?" And after he ended, he didn't wash his hands. That's the strange thing. He didn't wash his hands. He left.
Oh, that probably gave you PTSD.
That's gross.
Yeah, and I came out, and after that day, I kept doing it. Really.
Here's the ultimate though. What if he knew you were in the stall next to him? He was like, "Drop and give me 20, boy."
He knew I was in the stall, but he did know that I went take the other class. And he did catch me once and told me like, "Hey, if you keep doing this, I'll have you go to the principal's office." And I said like, "Oh, don't worry, I won't do it."
Does it
I
again?
kept doing it though. I was
yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, and the strange thing is that it was a very strict school. They had like guards in every gate and everything.
Uh-huh.
So I couldn't leave early, but I did. I jumped the fence every day. And well, I went under the fence. The fence had a hole, and I went under
Oh
the
shit!
fence. When I
YOLO.
graduated
Prison
ninth
style.
grade, I didn't even fit the hole. So I spent, and the classes ended like at 1. And I said like, oh, for old time's sake, I'm gonna go through the hole. I got stuck, and
Damn.
I had to wait until 3. One guard passed by and said like, hey, what you doing there? And I'm like, just like, I'm stuck. He said like, you don't have to do that. It's the final day. Who cares? So like, well, yeah,
Oh.
but
Oof.
he unlocked me and I left. But that was a very fancy story. I liked it.
Good story.
Yeah, I did myself. I thought about one. It's not a public bathroom though, so I'm sorry about that.
Oof.
But when I was in Japan, like I think it was last year, I was with like some friends.
I'm
and-
so jelly.
Yeah,
I
same.
was I was twice. It's wonderful, really. I'm still a knight. No whip, no samurais. Boo! I hate samurais.
Yeah,
No,
you sure about that? You sure about that?
The insult is real. I feel bad.
Oh, yeah, so I was there. We traveled between different places. We were like 5 friends, and one of these was this kind of wooden house. Kind of looked like an house from you find in a mountain, like a chalet, okay? And the bathroom was on the bottom floor, okay? So one night I had to go to the bathroom, and I walked down the stairs. It's completely dark in the whole chalet. I opened the bathroom door. It's a sliding door, and then by itself, the bathroom lid, you say lid, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
the thing lifts
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
and a blue light comes out of the bathroom, and I scream. I literally go like, "What the fuck is this?" Because that was the first time I went to the bathroom, like in that place that day, and it's basically automatic, and it makes sound. It sounds like as it opens and lights pops out, and that scared me to this day. Like, I'm still afraid my own bathroom is gonna do that.
Jesus.
Do you have one story yourself though?
Oh God.
I mean,
I told my
you can't
one
ask that
about.
question and not answer yourself.
Oh man, I have so many. Like I don't know why. It's just so awkward when I like. I don't. Dude, you're so lucky you don't live in the States, man. It's so awkward when you go to the bathroom because, like, if you pee next to someone, and then they just start looking at your dick, and it just gets really awkward, and then like, yeah, because I'm not sure if you know. It's the same thing over there, but in the U.S. we have urinals, and then you could stand next to someone while you're peeing, and yeah. But like some people are just really weird, especially if you look like if you're like 24 or something, and then there's like weirdos going into the bathroom. But yeah, like I've had people like look underneath the stalls at me. I've had people like look over while I'm peeing and look at me. Like I remember there was one time. I told on the other podcast, which was pretty funny. I'm not going to retell it, but I'm just going to give a peanut shell version.
Okay.
I was in the bathroom, and then my it was quiet as hell, and then like my ringtone of the Street Fighter Ryu like Hadouken just like blared and just echoed across the bathroom. But there was one time I did that. Here's another one. This will be my one, I guess. I went to the bathroom at a Walmart, and then it was really crappy because like Walmart bathrooms are always really bad, in my experience at least. And then this guy who came in with crutches like fell down and then started screaming, and like he was like, "Help me! I can't get up!" like legitly out of like a
wow.
like I can't make this crap up. It was so freaking like weird and like just anxiety inducing. It felt like a literal like Life Alert commercial. And like safe to say, like I walked out of I helped him up, and this is the really crappy part. I felt really bad because my first priority was to go help this guy, and I didn't go wash my hands. I'm sorry. You can get mad at me. I'm just saying I was trying to help. I was trying to help someone. I was trying to help someone. Yeah. I didn't touch his face or anything. Just saying I helped him up because first priority. For anyone in comments calls me dirty, I swear to God, I'm sensitive. Please don't. But no, I went to go help him up and everything, and he said I was a nice young lad, so that was really nice. He was a really nice guy. He was just really nice. Yeah, I don't know.
Poor
He
guy.
said I'm a nice young lad, and I'm like, oh,
That's
thank
weird.
you.
Who
Yeah, I
uses
know.
lad anymore?
Is it like getting into weird territory?
Yeah, I think it is getting into weird territory. I
He
mean,
does that in every Walmart. It's just a scene.
no, I'm just saying. It's kind of like the like bringing it back or whatever. Like I've heard like my friends like tell sword fight stories, like just utterly like gay experiences that wouldn't normally happen in real life. Like for the sake of this podcast and disguising names, my friend Josh and his friend Richard, these two people or whatever, they said that they were going to organize a after school sword fight club, and it sounded like the most gayest thing ever. And I was like, it was literally Fight Club, but gay version.
Meat swords. Okay, I get you.
Yeah, man, pitiful. Could you imagine some dude? Yeah, could you imagine just some dude like they all show up in like night gear and they just like have brawls in their apartment? Is that what you do, Mege? Is that no, I'm just saying, like, since you're a Warden main, like after this podcast, you're gonna go off. You're gonna be like, all right, the Fight Club's a go. It's gonna be this Saturday. We all gonna show up in like Warden cosplay and just like shoulder bump each other.
Yeah, we have to practice.
It's actually it's shoulder play. It's not sword play. It's just sword.
Yeah. Oh yeah, shoulder play. My bad.
Wow, it sounds even worse. Even though it's not, it sounds worse if you say shoulder play.
Yeah, it does. It sounds really bad.
Actually, he kind of sounds very
cracking a Mizero with the boys. Anyway, Jesus, how long are we on? Oh man, we're around 50 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Jesus, I have one last question. It's going to be a deep question because I always like ending a podcast with a deep question.
Okay.
So, what is your opinion to be human?
Oh wow.
My
opinion to be human. Huh. That is
Take this whatever way you want.
That is a very hard question here. Just give
you
me
go.
just a moment.
All right, Zach. In the meantime, how was your day?
It was good. It was good. Came home.
What'd you do today?
Had a bath. Ate. The normal stuff.
Normal human things.
Normal human things. I am a human being. Yeah. This is something weird I'm going to share now. You're an addict when you open your when you look at one corner of your room, you have 2 packs of like cans of Coke, and when
man, don't even. I feel that.
As long as it's not
when you
Dr. Pepper.
extend your hand to your your bag or something, and you pull out a bottle. Like,
hold me back. Did he say Dr. Pepper? Did he say shit about Dr. Pepper?
I knew it.
No.
Boy, hold me back. I'm about to clap them cheeks. Mege. You don't talk shit about Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper's fucking
he's a
sucks.
doctor.
Oh my god. We're gonna scrap after this podcast.
Oh man. But yeah, okay, so your question. Philosophical question, quick philosophical answer. I feel like to be human is to move forward. If that's good enough for you.
That's good enough for me. If it's good enough for you.
It is good enough for me. And I want to add just a little on the website. I'm not sure if you guys ever read any manga. Oh, you guys read mangas?
Oh my god, look at this dork. He reads manga? Go ahead and shove him into the locker. Zach, get him.
But when you said human, I couldn't help but think about one manga that really reminds me about, even though it's extremely twisted humanity in a way, I feel like this manga is very human. It's one of my favorites ever. So if you're listening, if you get a chance, go read Oyasumi Pun Pun or Goodnight Pun Pun. It's very hard to go through because it's touching on very touchy and art subjects, themes, but I feel like it's worth it. Okay. Disclaimer. So now let's get back into Dr.
after the podcast ends because
yeah, I'm gonna need you to slide into my DMs with that.
Yeah.
Other than that, Zach, do you have any closing questions?
Yeah, I know you're a great sword user like me,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Did you ever give it? Have you ever gotten like? I'm going Dark Souls. I know that's not your main game, but you know, I have to get it out of my chest. Did
Sure.
you ever have a situation where invader opens the door of X area in any game? He sees you standing with a greatsword and closes his door after. Like he
Sadly,
sees you, he sees you from the other side and says like nope and leaves the world or taps out.
well, I can't say that happened. I feel like I did have quite some fun encounters in my Dark Souls experience, but I can't say I had that one specifically. I mean, even though, I mean, beside the sheer volume of the Zor, were Ultra Greatsword actually ever OP in PvP? I feel
Yeah,
like they
dude.
were very bad in
Yeah.
one, weren't they? No, actually, no,
Oh, they
wait, there
were.
is this Viander, though. Yeah, the giant dead. Right, right, right.
Yeah, yeah. You don't forget the legend, or the legend
Yeah,
will forget you.
The Legend, of course, of course. Maybe in 3
yeah,
is the
that
one.
will always be in our hearts.
I will have a question for you before closing, though.
Okay.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite Dark Souls game? And especially, what do you think of Dark Souls 2?
Oh
Wow.
no. Here we go.
No, this is the everyone will expect to say like, "Oh, Dark Souls 2, ugh, it's not from the same developer." Ugh.
You
I
better
will
not say that.
no, I won't. You know why?
What?
I kind of started out of order. I started with Dark Souls 2. I enjoyed
Uh-huh.
a hell lot out of it. I passed it
Oh
more
god,
than once.
yeah.
And I have to love Dark Souls 2 because Dark Souls 2 in a way gets me. I
Yeah.
ended up I ended up in a point where do you know the Curved Dragon Greatsword?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
do.
god, I love that weapon.
Uh,
So cool.
I ended up hear this with uh for each element I had two Dragon Greatswords.
Okay.
And my build was kind of like hexy, pyromancy kind of stuff. So I always had either or two hexes or two hexing great swords or two fire or half and half. And
Okay.
the power I felt every time I swing those majestic swords like boom boom, and I ended up with the whirlwind. Boy, I
Ooh,
died
it
that
buttered
moment.
my croissant.
Yeah,
What about?
it bothered me.
Ooh. I I think my favorite Mege would probably be one. Uh that's where I started out, and I actually went under a different username. I didn't become OS Flame until Dark Souls 2. That's when I invented the Supernova combo. I could successfully one tap anyone with Pyromancy.
Oh wow.
If I got a parry, I would go into Flame Swath, go into Forbidden Sun, and the way that the combo
Oh,
worked
that
was
one. Okay, okay.
the Flame Swath would go behind the opponent, and then I would hit a Forbidden Sun, pushing them towards the the Flame
Swap.
Swath explosion, and then they would come back towards me, and then I would switch to Great Combustion and finish them off.
Wow. Nasty.
Not only that,
Yeah,
this boy was OP. Like not OP, he wasn't OP, but he was like his
randomizer.
randomizer. This guy was like, oh, he could start with a rapier, end up with a spear, then switch to a great hammer, switch to a great sword, and beat all the weapons and beat you with a whip in the end.
Weapon
And
master.
you're like, what happened? What did I
I
just saw?
love that game. I know people were going to shit on me so much, but Dark Souls 2 has such rich lore, such rich attention to detail that it's hard to go unnoticed. If you do not go to that game and say some of these scenery is just like the most beautiful thing like you've ever seen for that time, like I can't honestly help you, but honestly, the lore, the gameplay, the PvP, it's
The PvP.
honestly 10 out of 10 out of me for me at least.
Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, technically the best PvP is Dark Souls 2's PvP.
Yeah, slow
The
rolls.
most balanced.
I loved it. Okay. Thank you
Anyway,
guys.
yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the OmniCast. I'm so honored that you guys are listening if you got this far. Also, go ahead and go plug in anything that you have, Mega.
Oh,
like your YouTube, your anything social media wise,
of
your
course,
SoundCloud
yeah.
rapper style. I don't anything.
And stuff.
Did you? Okay. No, yeah, of course. YouTube channel is right there, just Mege on YouTube. And from that, you can go to my other social medias. I use Twitter, I use Facebook, and I have Discord server myself. So yeah,
Go check them
just
out,
check
guys.
any of my videos description, and it's in there. It's all there.
Exactly. Anyway, guys, we're let's go ahead and say our fellow goodbyes. Also, guys, quick thing: we have our own Discord. We have the OmniSouls Discord. Be sure to check the description if you want to join in. Call it, bully us. You can call me horrible names and make me self-loathe myself. I don't really care. Whatever you want to do. Anyways, we have some tournaments coming up that you guys would be especially interested in, because these are going to be potluck tournaments, meaning you pay a certain amount to get in, and then winner takes all. Of course, this will not be only just for Honor. It can be for other games that we're going to be up for grabs. Other than that, guys, I'm so honored that you guys came on to listen to this podcast. Until then, see ya.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.
And a soul splinter, folded in a inner. Another lonely night, visiting us for beginners. Forcing my